Bray Wyatt kicks off Raw talking about the Beast and goes on to talk about his Extreme Rules opponents, and Reigns interrupts. He says something about it being his yard, no one cares. Angle comes out and books Reigns versus Wyatt to start the show. During the match, Samoa Joe came out while both men were down and told Wyatt to get up, and then he put Reigns in a coquina clutch. Rollins ran in and Joe ran out. Then Reigns hit Wyatt with a Superman punch. After the break, Angle talks to Rollins and Reigns backstage and books them in a tag match against Wyatt and Joe for the main event. Elias Samson plays his guitar behind Angle for about the 4th, maybe 5th week in a row, and Angle says, "You've got my attention. How about I give you your first match ever, and your opponent will be Dean Ambrose." Akira Tozawa squashed Arya Daivari in the purple division, and the Brian Kendrick was watching from backstage. Elias Samson sang a nice song in the ring while playing his guitar, which was really interrupted by mid-card Mark. The Miz was on commentary for the match, and after some back and forth between Ambrose and Samson, Miz made his way to the ring and hit Samson so he would get the win over Ambrose. I have no idea why every heel doesn't do this when running in on a match. Ambrose tried to run at the Miz after the match, but Samson dropped him with what I think is his finish. It's sort of like Cody Rhodes' finish, the Crossroads. Balor is versing Carl Anderson in a weirdly thrown together match, but before that happens, Paul Heyman comes out and tells everyone no matter who wins at Extreme Rules, they'll just be Lesnar's next victim. But he does think that Balor is the most talented in-ring performer in WWE today. Balor said, Paul, wait a second. Balor said, Paul, I'm glad you're here, but I wish Brock was here. But he's not. Surprise, surprise. He said some other stuff, then Gallows and Anderson came out. Balor and Anderson had a good match. I think it might have been the best of the night. Balor got the win with the coup de grace. Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox for the 3rd week in a row. Still nobody cares. Banks got the win with the double knee thing in the corner, and Fox beat her down after the match. There was an old school type Goldust promo that played on the Titantron. I thought it was good. It's nice to see Goldust not playing a brain dead jobber, but I think he needs his hairpiece back. Alexa Bliss cut a good backstage promo. She's too good. Kalisto took on Apollo Crews in a match. I don't even remember the match. Kalisto won. Matt Hardy versus Sheamus, and the winner of the match got to decide the stipulation for their tag title match at Extreme Rules. The match was alright. Jeff jumped off the apron at Cesaro when it looked like he was about to attack Matt on the outside. Sheamus kicked Jeff in the back and turned around into a twist of fate for the finish. At the top of the ramp, Matt announced they will fight in a steel cage at Extreme Rules. Austin Aries versus Tony Nese with Neville at ringside. The match was about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Aries made Nese tap out with the last chancery. As Aries was standing on the ramp after the match, Neville put Nese in his submission move, trying to send a message to Aries. Neville's submission is called Rings of Saturn, but I think a much better fitting name would be Third Division. Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss in a decent match, but Alexa hit a DDT for the win. I don't know why this shit happened again. That shouldn't be a finisher, she already had one. Whoever told her to start doing that needs to go find Reigns a finisher. After the match, Bliss got a kendo stick out and hit Mickie with it. Then Bayley ran out, tripped over Alexa and grabbed the kendo stick, but before she could use it, Alexa rolled out of the ring. Time for the main event of Rollins and Reigns versus Wyatt and Joe. Reigns being in the majority of the match made it boring. Things got a bit more exciting when Rollins got the hot tag because he's not shit. The finish was Joe moving out of the way of a super shit punch and Reigns sort of headbutted Rollins. Then Rollins asked him what his problem was, and Wyatt pulled Reigns out of the ring, and Joe caught Rollins in a coquina clutch, leaving him unconscious. Backstage, Angle is watching the match, and Balor walks up to him and says, "Next week, try not leaving me out of the fun. I want a match against one of these guys." Angle denies his request and says, "You aren't having a match with one of them, you are having a match with 2 of them. It's going to be Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Bray Wyatt in a triple threat match." He actually said Balor, by the way. Then he went on to make Reigns versus Seth for next week as well. Raw goes off the air with Joe and Wyatt having a stare at each other over Rollins' body. I give this week's Raw a Finn Balor out of Finn Balor. Well, see you next week for the next Rush Raw review.